Mental weakness is a choice you're making every single day without realizing it. The Stoics figured out how to fix this, and it's simpler than you think. You know that feeling when something small goes wrong and your entire day is ruined? Or when someone criticizes you and you can't stop thinking about it for hours? That's mental weakness, and before you get defensive, we all have it to some degree. The question is whether you're going to keep living like this or actually do something about it. The ancient Stoics built mental strength through specific practices that anyone can use. Not complicated theories, actual methods that work. And once you understand these principles, you can start building real mental toughness today. Quick thing before we dive in: if you've ever felt mentally weak and wanted to change that, drop a comment below. Hit the like button if you're ready to actually learn something useful here, and subscribe because this is the kind of content that can genuinely change your life. Let's start with why you're mentally weak in the first place. It's not because you're broken or defective. It's because you've been training yourself to be weak without knowing it. Every time you avoid discomfort, you get weaker. Every time you need someone else's approval to feel okay, you get weaker. Every time you let your emotions control your actions, you get weaker. You're essentially going to the gym and doing the exact opposite of building muscle. You're atrophying your mental strength through your daily habits. Marcus Aurelius understood this perfectly. He wrote that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Basically, obstacles don't make you weak. Your response to obstacles makes you weak. Two people face the same difficulty. One person breaks down and quits. The other person pushes through and comes out stronger. Same obstacle, different mental strength. The difference isn't luck or genetics, it's training. The first Stoic principle for building mental strength is accepting what you can't control. This sounds simple, but most people get it completely wrong. You waste massive amounts of mental energy trying to control things that are impossible to control. Other people's opinions, past events, future outcomes. The weather, traffic, how someone reacts to your message, whether you get chosen for something. All of this is outside your control, but you stress about it anyway. Epictetus taught his students to divide everything into two categories: things you control and things you don't. Things you control are your thoughts, your choices, your effort, your reactions. That's it. Everything else is not up to you. And every second you spend worried about things in that second category is wasted energy that's making you mentally weaker. Here's how you apply this. Something happens that you don't like. Before you react, ask yourself one question: can I control this? If the answer is no, your only job is to control your response to it. Someone doesn't like you? Can't control that. Control how much you let it bother you. Didn't get the job? Can't control that. Control what you do next. Traffic making you late? Can't control that. Control your emotional reaction and maybe leave earlier next time. Mentally weak people try to control everything and end up controlling nothing. Mentally strong people focus only on what they can control and become powerful in those areas. This one shift alone will save you from so much unnecessary suffering. Second Stoic principle is embracing discomfort deliberately. Your brain is wired to avoid pain and seek comfort. That made sense when we were trying to survive in the wild. But now, in modern life, that same instinct is making you soft. You avoid difficult conversations. You hit snooze instead of getting up. You choose the easy path every single time, and each choice makes you a little bit weaker. The Stoics practiced voluntary hardship. Seneca would sleep on the floor sometimes. Marcus Aurelius would go without luxuries he could easily afford. Not because they were masochists, but because they understood something crucial. If you only experience comfort, you become fragile. The moment life gets hard, you shatter. But if you regularly expose yourself to discomfort, you build tolerance for it. Hard things become manageable. Start small, Take cold showers. Wake up early even when you don't feel like it. Have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Do the workout when you're tired. Say no when you want to say yes just to please someone. Each time you choose discomfort over comfort, you're building mental strength. Your brain starts learning that discomfort won't kill you. It starts trusting that you can handle hard things. And that confidence translates to every area of your life. Mentally weak people avoid all discomfort and then wonder why they fall apart when life inevitably gets uncomfortable. Mentally strong people train in discomfort regularly, so when real challenges come, they're prepared. Third principle is taking complete responsibility for your life. This is where most people fail. Something goes wrong, and immediately you look for someone or something to blame. Your childhood, your circumstances, other people, bad luck, the economy, the system, and maybe all of those things are real factors. But the moment you blame external things, you give away your power to change anything. The Stoics were fanatical about personal responsibility. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you find strength. Every single thing in your life is your responsibility, not because you caused it all, but because you're the only one who can do anything about it. Your health, your relationships, your career, your mental state. All of it falls on you. This is harsh, but it's also liberating. If everything is someone else's fault, you're powerless. You're just a victim of circumstances waiting for things to get better. But if everything is your responsibility, you have agency. You can make changes. You can improve things. You can build the life you want instead of complaining about the life you have. Stop making excuses. Stop blaming others. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Take ownership of where you are right now and decide what you're going to do about it. That shift from victim to owner is the foundation of mental strength. Fourth principle is controlling your internal dialogue. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Most people have incredibly weak self-talk. Something goes wrong and they immediately say things like, "I'm so stupid," or "I can't do anything right," or "this always happens to me." You're programming yourself for weakness with every negative thought you don't challenge. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of Stoic principles through his journal. He would write things like, "You have power over your mind," and "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." He was deliberately training his mind to think in ways that made him stronger. You need to do the same thing. When you catch yourself thinking weak thoughts, stop and reframe them. Instead of, "I can't handle this," try, "This is difficult, but I've handled difficult things before." Instead of, "I'm such a failure," try, "I made a mistake and I'll learn from it." Instead of, "Why does this always happen to me?" try, "This is happening and I'll figure out how to deal with it." Your thoughts create your reality. If you think weak thoughts, you'll feel weak and act weak. If you think strong thoughts, you'll develop actual mental strength. This isn't toxic positivity. This is taking control of the one thing you absolutely can control, which is your interpretation of events. Fifth principle is focusing on the present moment. Mental weakness often comes from living in the past or the future. You replay past failures and feel shame. You worry about future problems and feel anxiety. Meanwhile, the present moment, the only moment that actually exists, is passing by while you're mentally somewhere else. Marcus Aurelius said to confine yourself to the present, not because the past and future don't matter, but because you can only take action right now. You can't change what happened yesterday. You can't control what might happen tomorrow. But you can absolutely control what you do in this exact moment. And when you focus all your mental energy on the present, you become powerful. Here's how to practice this. When you notice your mind wandering to past regrets or future worries, bring it back to now. What can you do right now that moves you forward? What action can you take in this moment? Even if it's something small, do that instead of spiraling into thoughts about things you can't change or haven't happened yet. Mentally weak people lose the present moment to anxiety about the future or regret about the past. Mentally strong people stay grounded in what's actually happening right now and take action from there. Sixth principle is building discipline through small wins. You don't become mentally strong overnight. You build it gradually through tiny victories every single day. The Stoics understood that excellence is a habit, not an act. You become what you repeatedly do. Set small challenges for yourself daily. Make your bed every morning. Drink water before coffee. Read for 10 minutes. Do 10 push-ups. These seem insignificant, but they're training your brain to follow through on commitments. Each time you do what you said you'd do, especially when you don't feel like it, you're depositing into your mental strength account. The compound effect of these small disciplines is massive. Someone who does small, hard things every day for a year becomes a completely different person than someone who only does things when they feel motivated. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is what builds mental strength, and discipline is built through repetition of small actions. Stop waiting to feel ready or motivated. Start doing small things consistently, regardless of how you feel. That's how you train mental toughness. Here's what you need to understand. Mental weakness isn't permanent. It's not who you are. It's just the current result of your habits and thinking patterns. The Stoics proved that anyone can develop mental strength through deliberate practice. Marcus Aurelius wasn't born the philosophical emperor. He worked on his mind every single day. Epictetus was a slave who became one of history's greatest philosophers through mental training. You have the same capacity they did, the same potential for strength. The difference is whether you'll actually do the work or keep making excuses for why you can't change. Every single one of these principles is simple. None of them require special resources or abilities. They just require you to make different choices than you've been making. Accept what you can't control and focus on what you can. Embrace discomfort regularly to build tolerance. Take complete responsibility for your life. Control your self-talk. Stay present. Build discipline through small daily wins. These aren't complicated, but they're not easy either. Building mental strength never is. That's the whole point. The Stoics didn't develop these principles because life was easy for them. They developed them because life was hard, and they needed tools to handle that hardness without breaking. You need the same tools. The world isn't getting easier. Challenges aren't going away. The only question is whether you're going to face those challenges as a mentally weak person who crumbles under pressure, or as a mentally strong person who handles difficulties and comes out better on the other side. Start today. Pick one principle from this video and implement it right now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. Because mental strength isn't built through thinking about it or waiting for the perfect moment. It's built through action, through doing hard things when you don't want to, through training your mind the same way you'd train your body. You're capable of so much more than you think. The Stoics knew this about humans. We're incredibly resilient when we stop making excuses and start building actual strength. Stop being mentally weak. You now have the tools to change. The only question is whether you'll use them.